Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to our third episode. Today, we're going to talk about breaking limits, letting go of what holds you back. And
Ninani wewe tu, ninawera double K, mwalimu panda kasi mwalimu kipindi.
Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to our third episode. Today, we're going to talk about breaking limits, letting go of what holds you back. And let me say that now this is where we're going to start the art of quantum leaping. And before we even go forward, let me say that quantum leap, it's a profound transformation that shifts your entire way of being, the way of thinking, the way of your attitude, and leading to a more higher state of a deeper understanding of yourself and your world and the world in general. So it's all about embracing new realities. It's all about shedding old limitations and also your beliefs and align them with your inner world, which is going to give you a desired future. So today, as much as we're going to talk about letting go of what holds you back, we're also going to touch a bit about perception, because I think this is a key thing here, perception. As you can remember, our last episode, we talked about self-awareness, and self-awareness and perception goes hand in hand. That's why this episode, we're also going to touch a little bit about perception. So have you ever felt like there was something you deeply wanted to pursue, but no matter how much you thought about it, no matter how much you tried, you just couldn't move forward, or you couldn't just figure it out? So maybe it's probably applying for a new role, or even starting a business idea, or even speaking up in the room. A lot of us sometimes struggle even speaking up for ourselves. And here is the truth. Most of the time, what holds us back, it isn't the world around us, it's the invisible walls we've built inside our minds, our own minds. And we're going to uncover exactly what these limits are and how they sneak in our daily lives. I did something there. Anyway, so we're going to sneak on how we're going to check on how they sneak into our everyday lives, and most important, we're going to learn how to break them. So by the end, we're going to have the simple tools on how you can challenge your fears, how you can relight your beliefs, how you can do away with your self-doubt, and also how you can also do away with procrastination and take action towards your next level. So I hope that you have your journal. Like I said, we have to practice journaling a lot, because these episodes are more mainly in journaling. The main tool here, it's a journal book. So I hope you have a journal and your pen. So I've been struggling a lot with fear of the unknown, and the queen of procrastination. And I've always found ways to beat my fear. I'm still working onto my procrastination, because darling, I can procrastinate a lot. And that's why I said at the beginning of this series that it's very important you find someone who's going to be your accountability partner, someone that you trust. So for me, I have someone who really pushes me when they see that I am procrastinating a lot. So it's very important whenever you're starting something new, or even you want to do something, or even the plans, or even challenge yourself, you need to have accountability partners so that they can keep you in check. And I hope that you've picked one or two people, but mostly one person is more than enough, a person that you really trust. So I've been one of those people that have struggled a lot with fear of the unknown. And even when I want to challenge myself, when I want to start something new, fear really kicked me like, I don't know, it can drive me crazy. But I've learned ways on how, because I've realized everything is perception. So I came to realize that fear is not a fact. So it's just basically an emotion that's always there, that just want to hold you back. And it's when I look back, I think it's some of these things that we've acquired them during our childhood. So that's why I said it's also very important to go back and check where, like when you're having certain types of cycle and patterns in your life, how did you acquire them, and how are you going to be able to release them so that you can be able to, live your very best life. So most of the limits in your life, they're not real. Like I'm saying, like fear is not real. It's just a barrier. So we call them invisible walls, which are built in our mind. And we're going to learn how to spot these invisible walls and also how to break them. And let me say, what are limits? Limits are not fact, like I've said. They're perceptions, they're habits, and they're beliefs that shape our decisions. And before we even begin, let me touch a little bit about perception, because it means a lot in this episode. Perception is everything and it matters. So, perception is one of our higher mental faculties, and perception is not reality, it's your view of reality. So, perception is going to shape more your reality more than even circumstances. So, it shapes more the results more than even the circumstances. For example, I can give, an example of, like, there could be having two people facing the same problem but respond differently. So for instance, two people, they lose a job. One might see it as an opportunity to start a business, or even go back and start enhancing their skills. The other one might find and feel like it's the end of the world. So you see, it's like they have the same problem, but they responded very differently because of perception. So how they pursue things, how they pursue life. So over the next episode, we're also going to see how we can shift how you see perception. So how you see the situations that are coming into your life, whatever the challenges, the fear, the self-doubt, and all that. So, and let me say that your paradigm shapes perception, and a paradigm is how you act and the mental programming. So the glass is half full versus half empty mindset. So you have that kind of a mindset where you think, my glass is full, and some other times you might have a mindset of, oh, it's empty. So, and most people see through life in the filters of fear and limitations and past experiences. And that's why I said, when we're dealing with these episodes, you need to journal, because the exercise that I would want to emphasize here would be like journaling. And it should be, now when it comes to perception, so you should have to have an honest opinion about yourself and also about your beliefs. So what is one belief that may be distorting how you see opportunities? So you have to tell yourself the truth. So that's why I covered the self-awareness. You have to be aware of your beliefs. So what is that one belief that you think may be distorting how you see opportunities? Because obviously there's so many people, like sometimes they get opportunities, but they don't even want to go past trying. And shifting perception is all about seeing possibilities and not limitations. And nothing is good or bad until you give your own perspective. And we've had people like entrepreneurs, how they started. Maybe other people would have even like been discouraged very long time ago, but it's all about how they perceived it. So your perception really is key in everything that you do, whether it's you're starting a business, whether you want to start a new career. So you need to be very intact with your perception. And I want you to pick a current challenge. Write down 3 alternative ways to see it as an opportunity for you, not as a limitation for you. So in that way, you're going to change your world. So every time you try to reframe your thoughts, in that way, you're giving yourself a positive mindset that, yes, I can do this, I can do it, it's doable. Other people have done it, so why not me? So I want us to apply perceptions shifts to everyday life. So if you think like you can't do something, you have to challenge yourself and start seeing things differently and start seeing it just like, something that can be done. Although maybe you're just learning, you're just starting, and it's okay. It's very okay. It's very much okay to start. Nobody has ever died of starting. So why not? You can fail and start all over again. That we've had so many people. So perception is just how you see your life, your external world. And like I've said, the same challenge might be given to 2 people and they respond to it differently. So you need to master perception for life transformation. So how perception creates success. It creates through confidence. You have to be very confident in you, even if you don't know how to go about it. You have to look for mentors. You have to look for people who've been there before. You have to get rid of that fear and move past it, because it's gonna give you blockages if you start keep on like contemplating, should I do this? Oh, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I don't know what's gonna happen, I don't know what people are gonna think about me, I don't know how the world is gonna respond to this. No, do it for you. So that you can start, mastering perception in those little things. And by mastering perception in those little things, so when it comes to dealing with huge tasks and even challenges, it's just going to be a walk in park. So it's good to, when you're trying to work on your perception, it's good to practice affirmations. Affirm yourself daily, because nobody else is going to come and do that for you. And I would kind of like give a challenge, or even just request you to challenge yourself for the next 7 days. You deliberately shift your perception in at least one area of your life daily for 7 days. Just stick onto that one area. So your world is a mirror of your perception. So change the lens and you change your life. It's just as simple as that. So if you will not be able to push yourself to do that, everything that you're going to be trying to work on, it's always going to be a disaster. You always find barriers, and that's not what we want, because we want to live boldly, and we want to live a life that is fulfilling and joyful. And let me say that all of us, we struggle with all this, some sort of something in life. So you will find someone else struggling with fear, someone else with doubt, a procrastination like myself. But you just have to push yourself. If you're not in a position to push yourself, then that's going to be something that's going to hinder you from your greatness. So let's go back to the break of limits. I think I've covered all about perception and how you should go about it. So let me go back to my notes so that I don't start marbling here. I like, being on the right track. So we were on the limits, and we said that limits are not facts, they are perceptions, and we've covered perception. They're habits, they're beliefs that shapes our decisions. So we got 2 categories of limits. We've got internal and we've got external. So internal, it's fear, it's doubt, it's negative talk, negative self-talk, and comfort zone. While external, it's about society's expectations, past failures, and environmental factors. So, and I will give an example, like not being able to apply for a job because you assume you're going to fail. That's an internal limit. That is fear. That is a perception, like that's how you perceive yourself. And maybe you also don't feel like you can move past wherever you are. So it's a comfort zone. You just want to be in that area. You just want to remain in that career that you're at. So that is an internal limit. And there are certain ways I'm going to share here that limits shows up in our daily lives. One, it's procrastination, like I've said. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start in the next few minutes. But still, you find yourself in the next 1 week. You've not done it. I've been there. I know that. And you have to create a way that is going to work for you. So if it's something that you can do it within 10 minutes, just don't waste even 2 minutes. Just do it right away. If you feel like you're really procrastinating, before you even start to challenge yourself or even begin to start something new, it's good you find someone who's going to hold you accountable of it. So in that way, someone is going to be pushing you, and they're not going to push you in a way that you're going to be overwhelmed, but just to keep you on track, if that makes sense. The second subtle way that limit shows up, it's through self-sabotage. So you start but quit before success, before you've even seen the results. So many people that self-sabotage themselves. The other thing is overthinking, taking yourself out of opportunities. So an opportunity comes up and you overthink about it, you overanalyze it. So if you're going to pick it, you grab it. If not, then you just move ahead. Don't keep on overthinking, because this is just going to give you it's going to limit you. It's a barrier. The other thing is people pleasing. So living to be accepted rather than being authentic. So you're doing things to make other people happy. You're not doing it intentionally. You're not doing it for you, but you're rather doing it for the external world, which it is a disease. It is a disease to please people, and it's not good. You have to try to get rid of it. So those are subtle ways that limit shows up in our lives. And also staying comfortable, comfort zone. You feel safe over growth. Where you are, you don't want to expand because you're scared. What are people going to think about me? So you're scared of success. And we also have like this mental programming, like, oh, being so very successful is a bad thing, and all that. No, it is not a bad thing. It's if you will succeed and you over succeed, well and good, it's for your own good, and and even like people who surround you are gonna benefit from it. So why not? Don't be too comfortable. Just try to push yourself, encourage yourself, and also learn where the limits come from. They come from past experiences, failure, mistakes, rejection. So it's also a conditioning when we were growing up that you're not good enough. So when you're dealing with a low self-worth, you might find you having limits in your life. You're not able to move past that. So we also have like comparison culture. I keep on saying that comparison is a thief of joy. So measuring yourself against others. These are barriers that you need to break. You just have to know that you're unique and you have unique gifts, and nobody else is like you and can do things the way you do. You're very unique, darling. So don't compare yourself with other people. Don't compare yourself with other people's success. We're all walking different types of journey, and we are here for different reasons. So the earlier you understand that, the better. So the other thing is fear of change. Uncertainty feels so scary than being stuck. So you just have to embrace that change is inevitable. And if you don't change, you are not going to see growth. And it's through growth comes, success. And even how will you even know that, things would have worked out better if you don't try? So we need to get rid of fear. So the other is the hidden cost of staying limited. Oh, missed opportunities, dream jobs, businesses, relationships. And there is also something I call emotional heaviness. So that is stress, frustrations, regret. All these things shows in limits. These are very subtle ways of, how internal and external factors affect us when it comes to breaking our barriers. So we have to learn how to move past that. How do we break limits? We have the 3 steps release method, I'll call it. So 1, it's ask, what's one belief that keeps me small? And the tool to use here is the trigger journal. I say we need journals here. So write down moments that you felt blocked and the thought behind that. So what makes you feel like you were blocked? What comes up? Listen to your body sensations. Body scanning, although we're going to talk about it, it is very crucial here. So the other step to breaking limits, and we've got like 6 steps, it's challenge. Challenge your belief. Is it a fact or is it just a fear? So, and you can replace that with, if I can't. So instead of saying I can't, why don't you say I haven't tried yet? And there's nothing wrong with trying. So you can also like replace I'm not ready with I'm learning and growing. So you move past that fear. When you keep on telling yourself that I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm gonna do it, you just find like, you're gonna be able to move past the barrier. The other step 3, is replace and rewire. So we need to replace our limits with new and empowering beliefs. Not the beliefs that you grew up with. They might not work there now for you as an adult. So you also have to practice the act of the visualization. So imagine your life if that limit was gone. How would it look like? How would you show up? What are the achievements? So visualize that. Keep on replaying it so that it can be reprogrammed in your subconscious mind. The action to do here It's just take one step. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just do one thing, one step at a time. If it's to send that CV, do that. If it's to start a business, go ahead and do it and stick onto that. If you want to apply for, a course, don't be scared. It's something new in a new field. You don't even have, any ideas of how to go about it. Just make that one step of apply it, go for it. Speak up for yourself. Say no. A lot of us struggle with no, and now we find ourselves in situations that we don't really like, but basically because you were so scared and afraid to say no. So we need to take that one small step every day, or even in those 7 days. Like I've given you a challenge for this 7 days. So pick one thing. Just one thing. Don't overwhelm yourself with two or three steps. But if you can do it, all right, okay, fine, well and good. But I think always you're gonna find good results if you stick onto one thing. So number 7, it's practical self-awareness tools. And this is I mentioned about having to ask yourself, to always ask yourself why for about 3 to 5 minutes. And I think I said 5 minutes, right? You can do it 3 times, or even you can begin with 3 times or even 5 times. Keep asking why until you uncover the real block that you're struggling with. And as you're doing that, can you body scan? Can you notice where the tension shows up when you avoid action? So because sometimes when you're so scared and you don't want to do something, your body is going to act in a different way. And how my body respond is not how someone else's body is going to respond. So you need to learn how your body respond, so that always you're very aware when attention shows up. You can literally tell the difference and know what's happening here. So the other thing to do is feedback check. Like I said, you need people who are going to give you a feedback. So accountability partner, very important. So instead of being defensive when they come and say, all right, fine, I think this is where the area that you struggled, see it as a way of learning. You're learning about yourself, because sometimes we don't really see ourselves. So other people might see some blind spots that we're struggling with, which we're not even aware of. So it's a key thing here when it comes to elevating your life. You need an accountability partner. You always need, you need those feedbacks. So, and you need people who are gonna, not just they're coming to just reveal the blind spot, they might also reveal your strength that you're not even aware of, and which is a positive thing for you. So number 8, it should be guided reflection. So you need a bit of journaling every now and then with some various journal prompts I'm going to share here. So what's one story I've told myself that has kept me limited? That's a journal prompt you have to keep on revisiting it and see if the story you're telling yourself, has it changed. So if, let's say for instance, the story you're going to tell yourself this week, it might be a different thing, because probably you've worked on different areas of your life and you've seen results. So it might not be the same story you're going to tell yourself in the next 2 or even 3 or even 6 months coming. So it's always good to revisit. You reflect all the time. You do journal reflection. So what's one story I've told myself that keeps me limited? The other thing is, what would my life look like if I didn't believe in this story? Based on now that journal prompt number 1, the story that you tell yourself that keeps you limited, and how would your life looks like if you didn't believe in that story. Number 3, it's what one step I can take this week to prove this limit is wrong. Just one step. Do not juggle lots of steps. Start with one. Act one thing at a time. And let's also practice for you to break our limits. It's good to practice the art of affirming yourself. Affirm. So you can have affirmation like, limits are lies, I choose to rise higher. So limits are lies, I choose to rise higher. the more you keep on saying it, you say it every now and then, it's going to become your reality. And you'll find, like, if you're struggling with fear, if you're struggling with self-doubt, you'll find that it's going to be so easy for you to start, building new mindset. And talking about new mindset, I think this is the end of our episode. And next episode, I think the fourth episode, we're going to deal with how to shift from breaking limits to building a new mindset that sees possibilities everywhere. And thank you so much, my darling, for being here with me. And I hope that you're learning and getting tools and ways in how you can elevate your life. And until next time, see you on the next episode. Bye bye.